Yeah, mambo vipi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Kenya Marekani. This is a platform where we highlight, educate you on many issues that happen here in America. And today, I'm glad to have here with me, sitting next to me, this is actually a superstar. Yeah? When you talk about people who are well exposed in this America, they've cut their way across. You talk about GRAMMYS, talk about Super Bowl, talk about, they're in those events, big events. He's the owner of, he's the founder of African Achievement Awards, ATV. Is a channel that also highlights sports, news here in America, a lot of things. And let me not even just continue so much. Introducing to you none other than Dr. DAVIES CHIRWA.
My brother, thank you for being here. Thank
I'm
you
happy.
so much.
I'm happy so much.
I'm glad I'm in your presence, man.
Yes, you know, I've never, you are the first outside Kenyan person that I've interviewed.
Oh, really?
African.
I feel Kenyan, so yeah, let's go.
he is so Kenyan, actually.
Right.
But probably, first things first, let's start with a little background of who you are. I know people should hear your story. Yeah, you're always the one asking people the stories, but today we gotta hear your story a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. So first of all, thank you for having me.
Yes,
it's a privilege. I've watched you do your thing, and I'm just in the background just clapping. You know, I just want to give you your flowers. You've been a pillar in the community, and for those of you that are tuning in, watching me for the first time, and watching Gary, obviously you've been following him. He's a man of integrity, and it's just a pleasure to be here.
Wow.
Yeah, so my background is very simple. I come from humble beginnings. I grew up in Zambia and Malawi, which is Central Africa. And I know you're from East Africa. So
yes.
I remember playing soccer, playing Kenya, you know, and it was never a good thing. Every time we played in Kenya back then, it was terrible. But anyway, I migrated to the
Does Zambia still play soccer?
Oh yeah, they're actually one of the best.
They are one of the best.
If you think about the top, maybe 5
Zambia is
good
one
teams,
of them.
Zambia is one of them. Yeah.
Kenya is not there.
Yeah, rugby. You're doing good in rugby.
Rugby and athletics, we're good.
There you go, running and all that good stuff. But it's been a long journey for me. I migrated here many years ago, and when I came here, I was very successful at a young age, and I was thinking, if I can be successful in Africa, America, I think I'll kill it.
What was one of the reasons that made you come?
It was just opportunities. I wanted to explore what opportunities were like. I was a computer technician back home, and being young, you're talking about early 20s. I think I was 19, 20. I was working for this company in Malawi at that time.
Yeah.
And I was one of the first people to install the networks for the government, computer networks for the government.
Yeah.
And so as I was doing that, I thought, if I can be successful back home, I can be successful anywhere.
Anywhere.
So, I literally looked on the map and I'm like, where should I go? And I looked at Seattle, there was Microsoft. I said, that's where I need to be. And there I was, and came here.
So you did this in college back in Zambia, or you continued here?
I did electrical technology, and then when computers came to Africa for the first time, I just happened to be one of the folks that got trained early enough.
Wow.
So when I came here, initially I wanted to be a broadcaster back home, but I went to a pure science secondary school, so I didn't have the opportunity to do media. Yeah, so I changed the pathway into technology, but not knowing that later on it was going to benefit me. Yeah, so moving to Seattle, I was depressed.
Was this the first state you came in?
Yes. I came here because I looked at Microsoft. I'm like, that's where I need to be,
Where?
And so
the home of Bill Gates.
The home of Bill Gates.
Yeah.
And I found out real quick that was the wrong move.
Why? So, and everybody's like, Seattle is the place.
Oh no, man. So when I looked back, all my friends that I left behind, they were successful. They're building, mansions and things like that. So now the shame came in. I'm like, I can't go back home like this. I gotta figure it out. I gotta figure it out.
That's a huge pressure, by the way. We go through that pressure.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And when I look at the young ones now coming, that's what this, Gary. Every time I meet someone, I'm ready to give them the knowledge.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have that when we came, because it was so early in life that we didn't know what to do. So everything that I know is out of try and error.
Yeah.
But I'm so grateful because I've grown up some of the people that supported me to be who I am today are from the Kenyan community.
Yeah.
Ugandan community, Malawian community, Zambian community, Tanzanian. So you realize, oh man, we are just here trying to make it happen. Yeah, so I'm grateful.
Wow, that's amazing. How was it coming now, even those times here in America, finding opportunities? You're here, you're new.
Yeah.
You're telling me you got depressed. It's not a laughing matter.
Yeah, it's crazy, and most of the people who live here, they can relate to that, because the food is different, the weather is depressing. Every time you go outside, it's gray outside, and Seattle is one of the most depressing places you can be in the world. But I had to dig deep, and that's where your faith comes in, your beliefs come in. You have to believe in something much more powerful than yourself.
Yes.
And so, the challenges were there, trying to navigate the process of even how to get your paperwork to be living in this country. You don't know. So everything was just mistake after mistake after mistake. But God has been so good. When I look back, it just feels like, man, we're still standing. We're here.
So what was your first job here?
My first job, I think it was driving. I was given an opportunity to drive.
Yeah. Which year was this?
That was in 2000.
Okay.
Year 2000, beginning of year 2000, I think, mid 2000s. And so I get the truck and I had the driver's license because I transferred my driver's license from home. And we were delivering electronics, installing PA systems in people's homes because I had the background, remember what I said, with technology? Yeah. So it was easy for me to do that. But everybody was like, oh man, that's, those are long hours, you should try, this, healthcare stuff. And I said, yeah, I'll try it, I'll try it. So I went there, and I walk in, there are these wonderful ladies from Kenya who were my trainees. First I walk in, I'm like, I don't think I should be here. I think I'm in the wrong place, So, man, it was the most excruciating thing I'd ever done.
Yeah.
But, so I went, during break, I went to the car and I stuck the finger to my throat because I couldn't really stand the whole environment. I started throwing up and stuff. You didn't hear me say this, but that's what I did.
That's the reality, especially for a lot of men coming from Africa that you've never changed into somebody. You've never seen older folks naked.
Right.
It's a culture shock.
So it was a culture shock big time.
Yeah.
And so I lasted 2 days and I quit, I was like, I think God has a different purpose for me than this,
They say quitters never win.
Yeah, man, it's
but you won in another game.
I won in a different game, but I tried it, to where, a different facility at just companionship, where you're just with people and just having, talking to folks who are able to take care of themselves.
Yeah. But
you could just have a conversation, just make sure they take medication and stuff like that. So I did that for a while. But within that, I found the power of the things that we take for granted, such as health, having a good health, the ability to tie your own shoes, the ability to go to the kitchen and get your own food. Some people are not able to do that.
Yeah.
So I found humility in getting that opportunity.
So it was still a good place for you to start.
Absolutely.
As you're here in America.
Absolutely.
What now made you now to start moving, finding yourself? How did you maneuver now from all that?
Good question. It was more like a ladder type of a thing. And I thank God because, everything that you do in life, one thing leads to the next, And if I look back and if I remove any one of my experiences, I think I wouldn't be where I am now, right now. Because you need the experience of climbing so that you can appreciate the process. Like one lady said, if the mountain was smooth, you couldn't climb it, So, so every experience, every mistake I've made, every success I've experienced, it's been a pleasure.
Wow. Yeah. That's amazing. So, ATV. How was it? How did you think about it? How did you give birth to this child that you dearly love so very much?
Right, I appreciate it. So in 2011, a friend of mine came to me, and said, hey, I've been having this dream of creating a pageant, for the community, but I don't know where to start from. And this young lady was from Uganda. Shout out to you, Christine. And and I was like, okay, I think I can produce that. I know how to produce stuff because I grew up, learning how to produce events, put up events and things like that. I said, I think I could do that. Yeah. So she had the ability to bring the people together and the ability to produce, the event.
Yeah.
So we ended up creating the first ever pageant system for Africans in the state of Washington in 2011.
Wow.
And we had the opportunity to bring the U.S. military, from Marines to Air Force. They are part of that celebration, and it blew out of even the context of what we are thinking it would. So most of the folks that you know, the young women that you see in the community, most of them come from that platform, the pageant itself. So then when we did that first year, I figured, oh man, we need a DJ, we need photographers, we need all these things. We don't have the money to do that, so I'm like, forget that. I'm just going to teach.
You're the one. You are the one.
Right. So then I started, learning all these things with the help. It wasn't just me. It was a bunch of us, friends, trusted friends. Shout out to Dooley, who is back home right now. He was part of that process. And a few folks from different countries. And for the first time as Africans, we came together and did this wonderful red carpet event in the state of Washington. So we ran it for 3 years. So I'm a proud dad to a lot of these wonderful young women that you see today.
Absolutely, because I've seen you in all the big events that are combined events for Africans. Even all the pigeons events.
The pageant systems and stuff like that. But that experience now led me into finding DC Productions, which is a production company that we use now to produce different various events. So with that experience, TV comes into space. And I figured, we got to take this opportunity to broadcast it to the masses. So back in America, I don't know how long you've lived here, each city used to have the PBS station, which entailed that you can go there as a young man or woman. Each city had the TV station where you can use it, to record, produce events, and then they'll put it up on channel 77 on Comcast.
Wow.
Yeah. So that happened. I gained a lot of experience from there, and then eventually we just launched our own TV station. So that's what happened.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. What are some of the challenges now, considering that you're black?
Yeah.
You're African.
Yeah.
And you're in a different country,
Man.
Having now, you have this dream of TV station, you have these challenges that are natural here in America, especially for us.
Right. That's a great question, actually, because when I got started, they used to tell me, hey, this work is for Americans or, white folks or whatever.
Healthcare?
Yes, healthcare, I said, man, I tried that, but it didn't go. I wasn't as good as I wanted to be. So I said, at least let me try. If I fail, I'll know that I tried, and at least I failed. Then with that said, I realized all these experiences that are intertwined, for you to produce something, you need a social media presence.
Yeah.
For you to have social media, you need people that can show you, that can take good pictures for you. You need people that can now stream, right?
Yeah.
But we didn't have streaming back in the day, so it was more like you record. And it wasn't even, we didn't have the SD cards anymore at that time. It was like tapes. Yeah, it was like tapes and all that, So, but the challenge has always been, I had to be 10 times better than the person next to me, So much that when I look back, spiritually, I had to tell myself, like, even though I have to be 10 times better than the person next to me, but I need to know within myself that I'm enough. Because God created me with the sense of creating anything that anybody else can do. Wow. So when I mentor all these kids, whether it's in college or universities, I always tell them, find your inner strength first. Because the pressure is going to come from the outside, And I remember just being overwhelmed. The very first big event that I did, I walked in, I see all these celebrities that I've been seeing on TV. I felt like just jumping up and down, like, hey, I've been watching. And then I had to be reminded, like, now
if you are there, you are like them.
Yeah, so you can't. So I had to check myself real quick, and just, you watch Rihanna on TV, and then there she is in front of you. You see Beyonce or all these people.
And there she
is. So you need to
all these big
really
stars.
you really have to put yourself together and make sure that you
be excited from in the inside.
Absolutely.
Not show.
Absolutely. So it can be an ultimate professional at any given time, but it takes time. It takes time to get going. Then I challenged myself. I said, if I'm going around the country or even in the state teaching the young men and women how to become professionals, I have to start that in my own home.
Yeah.
So my daughter was about 5 years old when I started teaching her how to become a media anchor. And now she's 20 years old, and
she's great.
You can see what she's
done.
Great.
She's interviewed like most of the celebrities that you know. Actually, to sit with Davies here, my friend, is a privilege. This guy has sat next to and name all the superstars here in America. I'm not talking about African superstars. The superstars here. Talk of football, American football. He's there. BET Awards, Grammy Awards,
MTV Awards.
MTV Awards. All those. And he's always in the backstage, All Stars, interviewing these people. So, man, big up, Bana.
Thank you. But I'm so grateful because you're from Kenya, so I've had the privilege to see your presidents over the years.
Yeah.
I think I worked with President Uhuru a couple of times at the White House. I remember meeting him for the first time, and I was just like, man, these are the people that lead our people back home. You know, I was fascinated the first time, but you know, with time you get used to it. But it's been an honor to see leadership changing, and then look at the opportunities that come with. Because sometimes you think, oh man, I'm with this devil, and then not knowing that there's a better devil, or maybe there's a worse devil. So we have the opportunity from storytelling perspective to make sure that regardless of who is in the office, you have to find a way to work with them.
Correct.
You know, you have to find a way to work with them, but still be conscious of who you are and the stories that you tell. Because we have a responsibility, just like you. You know, it's not for you to influence people with your judgment, but it's to give people the light so they can see what it is, what's happening in the background. And that's what we do. You don't have to influence everybody else, but you can give them the opportunity to see the light.
Wow, that's fantastic. Talking of opportunities, I feel like you're one person. Recently, we were with you at Microsoft.
Correct.
And we saw people winning grants worth a lot. And our people somehow are stuck.
Yeah.
I feel we are stuck that only our eyes are in America, but our whole body, our whole thinking is still back home. We are not internalizing and grasping what America is putting on the table for us.
Very, very, very good point, because, you know, first of all, you have to know that technology is changing every day. When I got started, I mentioned that we used to use cassette and tapes and things like that. Now, you know, fast forward, we have artificial intelligence that most of our people are coming to find out today. This is 2025, right? You know, I've been training with Microsoft for the last few years, you know, on AI that people are using today. Now they're learning about ChatGPT and things like that. But we've been doing that as leaders. They've been preparing us for this moment. Yeah. You know, so you showing up, you didn't see how excited I was to see you. I'm like, man, what are you doing here? But I'm glad you're here. You know, I'm like, I'm not the only one, you know, doing this stuff. You know? So the point is, you have to evolve with technology, but Microsoft is not going to find you at the house, you know, drinking tea at your house. They're not going to do that, right? So you have to position yourself in a way that you can be seen. Yeah. Everybody has a cell phone. Everybody has a story. You have to start filming yourself. You have to start documenting what's in front of you, but tell a story in a way that it can be tasteful, respectful, and also of quality, right? When you have quality, it's not about, you know, the quantity, but it's the quality of what you put in front of you. That's what's going to get you noticed.
Very important. It's not about views. It's not about likes.
No. I don't have millions of views, but I have quality with what I do. And that's why I can apply to the NFL. I can apply to, I've been to almost anything you can think about. You mentioned some of these organizations, but they look at the quality and how you're telling your stories. And I realized, you know, if I'm filming a football game, for example, right? Everybody's watching a game at home. Yeah. Right? Before you get home, everybody's already seen everything else, but you don't see what happens in the locker room. So that's my angle, you know, to show things that people don't see, the behind-the-scenes stuff. That's what's important, you know. But you have to create your own opportunity, and then you gotta find a mentor. Yeah. You know, if you don't have a mentor in life, you are stuck because you're only limited to your thoughts. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very powerful. Very powerful. Wow. So you're saying people can prosper even in this country.
Oh, absolutely.
And with other opportunities that not the normal ones that we know, like healthcare. I know healthcare is good.
It's
and
amazing.
A lot of people have a way there. But you don't have to be stuck if not, that's not your thing.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, healthcare still is a great opportunity because healthcare is not going anywhere. If there's any business that's lucrative, it's healthcare. Because people always get sick. People always have health challenges.
Actually, it leads here in America.
Absolutely. Yeah. But you have to find a way to brand yourself in a way that you can stand out, you know. I always tell people, like, you know, the brand name that you can all relate to is Coca-Cola, for example, right? You have Coca-Cola, they thought, you know what, we have a product, let's create something else. They create Sprite. You know what, some people like Sprite, they don't like Coke, let's create something else. Fanta, right? They create Fanta. Then underneath Fanta, what do they create?
Other
Fanta
brands.
Orange, you know, Sprite,
Passion.
all kinds of stuff. So you have to evolve, that's my point. And even with us, as much as I meet people, they say, oh man, you're successful, and I'm flattered, but I feel like I'm just getting started, you know? So when I meet people, I live through people as well. When I see you, because I remember when you got started.
Yeah.
You know, look where you are now.
You know what I'm saying? Climbing.
Yes. That's what it's all about. But as a community, we need to get to a place whereby if I have information, I should be able to share with you.
Yes.
Without saying, oh, let me hold on to what I have, because that's what kills us as a community. So we need to understand that even the borders that we have where we come from, oh, I can't go to your village because I'm from the other village. Or I can't go to your country because I need... That's
creating borderlines.
Right. So if we can emancipate ourselves from that level of thinking, I think we can do wonders. You know, I was looking at Kendrick Lamar at Super Bowl, right? Because I'm filming him, and
you were right there with them.
I was right there, and they asked him a question, and this brother is deep, man. Like, everything he's talking about is coming from a soul. So we have a responsibility as a people and as leaders in the community that whatever you see or whatever you say to somebody else, it can change lives. So you have to be cognitive of that and just understanding that, you know, we come from a resilient community. Yeah. But if we are our own stumbling blocks, we're not going to grow the community. So we have to make sure that we pass on the information and share within ourselves. Yeah.
There's some people who came long time, and I'm proud of you because your accent, I can still hear it is in Africa.
Absolutely.
It's African. There are people who come here yesterday, but you can't even hear what they're talking about. Right. But there are people who alienate themselves from maybe our community. Yeah. What is your one word for them?
It's understanding your roots, you know, understanding where you come from, because you can't know where you're going if you don't know where you're coming from. You know, so, you know, I remember one guy used to tell me, oh man, you know, the stuff that you're doing, you have an accent, you know, you're African, you're this, you're not gonna make it. You know, I said, okay, you know, let me try, let me find out. So I never wanted to be seen, I never wanted to be heard, because that's stuck in my head, right? So then eventually somebody else sat me down and said, you know, people connect with your business because they know you. You're unique. They know your story, right? So be seen, be in the forefront. I said, oh yeah, I think it's making sense. So when I tried doing that, that's when I took off. And now, you know what they say? Oh, you're only successful because you have an accent.
These people, if you make it, it's a problem. If you don't make it, there's a problem. What do you want?
Yeah, but it's been an amazing journey, man. The opportunity of meeting people from different countries. I've had the opportunity to work with not only, and I know most people get fascinated when they see all these celebrities we work with here. But I'm grateful for the opportunities to work with people from back home, you know, knowing Bien and Shimanu and the whole Southeast Soul and all these Naomi and Simon and all these people from home. It's an honor for me. Even when I go to folks in Uganda, you know, Bobby Wine and all these folks that have impacted my life, Chameleon, these are people that I call my friends, and when they come to town, they really want to make sure that they spend time to talk to you and stuff like that. And I remember Chameleon telling me, he said, man, when you got started, you were chasing her for the interview. Now we're looking for you for the interview. He's hilarious. But that's what life is all about. It's about understanding where God is putting you, you know, the place where God is taking you and where you're coming from. So to your point, you know, for the young ones that are watching us, or even the elderly folks, know where we come from, so you can understand that where we're going, these are the tools that I need in order for me to succeed when I get there.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. You recently started, I don't know, since COVID probably.
Yeah, since COVID,
You started the African Achievement Awards.
Yes, and congratulations to you.
As I get my gifts, by the way. I also got an award here.
You have to plug in yourself. Gary is an amazing guy, man.
Yeah.
Gary is an amazing guy. He never ceases to take a moment, you know. So, yeah.
I got my award here.
Absolutely. And congratulations, man.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I think we should be doing my speech right now, but
that's right. You said you're not dressed for the occasion.
We're not dressed for it, but you know, since COVID, people are starting to realize that you don't even have to dress.
No. Yeah. You never catch me looking like this anyway. But because it's you, I was like, okay, fine, let's do it. Let's do it. You know, it's like, oh my God.
But it's still, you know, some things you can't plan too much.
That's right.
You have to do them as they come.
Yeah.
So what does it mean to you and to the community?
The African Achievement Awards? Yeah. So I realized, you know, there are so many amazing stories in the community. Like your story, for example, resilient story. You still keep pushing, you know, getting successful, but you don't succeed by yourself. Yeah. When I met you, you're with somebody else who met me freaking out. Remember the young lady? Yeah, she was like, oh, and then you show up. She's like, you know him? Oh my God, wherever, you know, so things like that. There are stories in the community that we have to share with others, whether we're inspiring people back home or inspiring people within the community. African Achievement Awards is a platform that's also creating the opportunities for people to travel, you know, bring tourism with them to the United States and vice versa. Yeah, so last year we had Nikita. Shout out to you, Nikita.
Nikita Kering was here.
Yeah, she was here. Yeah. And we had a few other people from Kenya, from Tanzania, from Malawi, Zambia. And it was an amazing time. So I'm looking forward to
the next one.
The next one in December, yeah.
I'm glad that this is like, you know, this thing is like a culmination of different cultures, not just your country, but the whole of Africa.
Absolutely.
We had people from even like Central America.
Yes, and we had the real chief from Ghana. Remember?
Yeah. I interviewed him actually. A real chief, by the way.
A real chief, you know. So that was amazing. And when you walked in, you saw all those guys with better stomachs than mine, you know, like six packs and stuff, and the young ladies welcoming you on the red carpet. You know, that was, you know, so that's part of production. That's part of the aesthetics that we had to put together. So, because most of the people think, oh, I need to go to Hollywood for me to experience that. But we brought Hollywood to Washington. Wow. And so that's why we saw it,
we felt it.
Yeah.
We enjoyed it.
Because we don't need people to create stuff for us. Yeah. You know, I tell folks back home that, you know, we should not wait for people to come and save us. We can save ourselves because we are created. We're the most powerful species ever created.
Correct.
So why are we sitting around waiting for somebody else to come and change our lives when we can do it ourselves?
Let's get up.
You know?
And change the world. Mm-hmm. Change ourselves and change the world.
Absolutely.
I like it. What is the future like for you now?
I feel like I'm just getting started, bro. Like, I'm excited. You know, I'm excited to. Now we are on Roku TV, as you know, so which is amazing because we don't have to go the traditional way of, you know, doing presentations for TV, and that's an opportunity. I love for folks in Kenya who are creative, people that are creating, whether it's film or storytelling, any type of storytelling. They can send us content. We can put it up because it's about if people can see you, most likely you're going to be noticed by somebody because the talent is there.
Yeah.
It's just the opportunity that's lacking.
Wow.
So for me, what's next is reinventing myself. You mentioned the African Achievement Awards right now. I reached out to the White House. The White House has a special program called, they give awards to the community for people who have done, because we always encourage people to do community service and things like that. And so the White House gives awards signed by the president. There'll be a letter, a medal, and a coin that you can wear around your neck, straight from the White House. And so they approved the organization for us to honor people in the community. So I'm looking forward to that because we're going to do that this year.
Wow.
Yeah. So
wow,
you get.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. And there's something you didn't mention. Last year I saw you trying to get African artists also to sign up for GRAMMYS.
Oh, yeah.
Is that
Good
your
point.
program as well?
Yes. We also at Channel 8 TV were approved. We're the official organization, you know, anointed by the GRAMMYS. You know, so people that are back home, it doesn't matter whether you're in Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, Mali, wherever. If you have your stuff together, your music is on Spotify, you have all your stuff together, you can reach out to us. We can submit you into the GRAMMYS. And so that's a great opportunity, because if you understand the history of the Grammys, not everyone had the opportunity to get in. That's why you find even big artists. How many artists have received the Grammys in Kenya? Very few, right?
Do you even have?
Sauti Sol, I believe. Did they win the Grammys?
No.
But they were nominated at some point.
They were nominated.
Yeah, they were nominated.
But not win.
Right.
So we can find out.
Yeah,
but I don't think we have any winner of Grammy.
From so then we are, ladies and gentlemen, I have work
we
to
have
do.
Work. But
so yeah.
Having said that, I'm not saying that we are not talented.
Correct.
Like right now, BN is really like in that standard to get a Grammy.
Absolutely.
So Kenyans are there. It's just that the branding and to be seen. That's why we are saying if you have content, you can bring out, record yourself, so that people can see you. You never know who's watching you.
Absolutely. There's a brother from Ghana. His name is Rocky Dauni. Shout out to you, Rocky, if you're watching. Rocky is been nominated for the last time, maybe the last 4 years. He's nominated every year. Yeah. He's never won, but he's just nominated, right?
It's still something.
So the point is, again, it goes back to what I was saying. You have to position yourself to where you can be seen.
Yeah.
Now, it's an advantage, and I gotta say this so that people in the back can hear this, right? Back in the day, our artists used to compete with bigger artists. Like, imagine you're a young lady in Kenya, somewhere in Nairobi, stuck in the bedroom, writing music, producing music, and then all of a sudden you are put in the same category with Rihanna. What are the chances that you can win?
No
right?
Chance.
No chance. Yeah. But now what the Grammys are trying to do, they're listening to our cries. They're now segmenting brackets for just the African music to be by itself. So a couple of years ago, they did segments for Kizomba, Mapuka, Ndombolo, like different segments to make sure that people have a chance.
And you know what that means? It means African music is making is making it in the world space.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So don't just look down yourself. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it.
You're right.
All the artists.
And you don't have to conform to, right now Afrobeats is killing it, right?
Yeah.
So you don't have to change your type of music to Afrobeats in order for you to be seen.
Yeah.
You can still infuse your tradition and your sound within that sound to make sure that you're unique. Because if you sound like a brother from Nigeria, or back in the day you could hear sound, oh, that's Congolese music.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Kenyan music.
Yeah.
Oh, that's that's how it should be.
Yeah.
But we still need to be able to craft ourselves in a way that we can be identified as Africans even within that space.
I like it. I like people like Fela Kuti.
Yeah,
they've remained to that culture, and it makes them Angelique Kidjo. They've remained in the space and makes them very unique. That you know them, they will call them anywhere.
Yeah, and it's amazing because one of the first Broadways that I ever filmed and did the interviews, it was presented by Will Smith and Jada Pinkett. This was maybe 7-8 years ago. It was a Fela Kuti Broadway show.
Yeah.
And they had all this casting and brothers from across Africa were given the opportunity. And Michelle from Destiny's Child was one of the main acts. And shout out to Dwayne, who is from Sierra Leone. He's in Hollywood.
Yeah.
All brothers from Africa. They were given that opportunity. So this is another thing that we have to think about, showcasing our stories. The difference, I know the difference between a Kikuyu and a Kalenjin, for example, just because I've been around our folks,
Kenyan,
but imagine if I was not given that opportunity to be around the Kenyan folks, I wouldn't know anything.
You will not know.
But I love the culture. I love the Maasais jumping up and down. I love, the Kikuyu, outfits. Even I can tell them, when I see them, I see the beads and everything. My people. So
I will learn some Swahili, by the way.
Kidogo.
Yeah. You look like a Kenyan. I would not say you look more like a Kenyan. Me, the first time I saw you, I thought you were Kenyan. I spoke to you in Swahili.
Yeah, I'm African. Yeah,
you're African.
But I can.
They know us. We are African.
Yeah, I'm Bantu. So when folks are speaking Swahili, I can understand a little bit. Kidogo,
Kidogo too.
Yeah, because it's our languages are kind of similar. If you listen to someone from Zambia speaking and you hear somebody from Uganda, they're speaking Luganda, you think it's the same language.
Yeah.
But yet they're not even neighbors, right? So Malawi and Zambia, similar languages, same people, So again, those borders were created by somebody. And that's what we need to change in order for us to to get ahead.
Yeah, wow, that's amazing. I think I love this conversation.
Absolutely.
And it was impromptu, but hey, sometimes good things come unplanned.
That's right. That's right. But you know, I appreciate you, and normally I'll think about something before I do it. But you know, we are family, right? So
Yeah.
I'm grateful for the opportunity to speak to your following, and if you listen to my voice, especially the young ones, believe in yourself and just know that if he can do it, if I can do it, so can you. But we still have to give you the opportunity to get started.
Wow, I love it.
Yeah.
So where can guys find you? Your handles?
You can, yeah, I almost forgot about that, right? So you can, my first name is Davies, which is spelled D-A-V-I-E-S. My last name is Chirwa, C-H-I-R-W-A. And my social media handles, if you look for Davies Chirwa, you can find me. My website is davieschirwa.com. If you're trying to find us on Channel ATV, it's channelatv.org. You can find us there. Or pretty much if you forget, just pull up my name, or plug in my name in Google. You should be able to find something that's going to lead you to where we can connect. And I try as much as I can to respond to messages. I have a couple of people back home that respond to me. The English should be different if somebody from home responds. So just say, I need the real one so I can talk to him, you know. You know.
So, but, wow, especially artists that are here, budding artists from Africa. Yeah. This is the guy to talk to. I mean, you never know if you're doing something, okay? Don't just disturb people.
yeah, for real.
You're doing something, yeah, so that you can talk to him, and you'll never know.
Yeah, and if you can't find me, they can actually reach out to you, and you can connect them in the right place.
So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening to us. Thank you so much for stopping by.
You know, this should not be the last one. This is the first one. I know. Next time I'll be.
This is the inspiration, guys. ATV, we are in ATV.
Thank you for being here, man.
Cheers. God bless you. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and God bless you.
Take care.